Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines here. It's Tom Emmers looking to stop the SEC from coming after crypto. But is there another agenda here? We're going to look at it. We got Bitcoin in the news, and we're going to talk about the recent acquisition of Fortress Trust by Ripple and what that expansion could show us all. We're going to take a look at that. And XRP, is it setting up for a massive price surge? We're going to check it out. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on Twitter and YouTube for exclusive content. Right now, $1.08 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is off by 0.6%. Good morning, everybody. Bitcoin now 25,800 plus, 1625 for Ethereum. Tether market cap is just over 83 billion now. XRP 49 cents, off by 0.7 on the 24-hour and off by 0.6 on the 7-day. Let's get started right here. It's Jason Cousins, the president, the co-founder, founder actually, of GlimpPay. He says, you hear rumors of bank demise and fear of a bank run. What do you do? And comments below. I say GlimpPay enables gold as everyday money, and it does. I buy gold with Glint, baby. That's what I'm doing. And I just want to say, you can become your own bank and be an alternative to banking by owning physically allocated gold and being able to spend it like money through your MasterCard debit card. It's amazing. Excuse me. Let's get on to this. And this may very well be a great signal of why we all want to have an account at GlimpPay. Right here. Michael Brandt shows us, give him a follow. And so the dependency on the government pilot begins. A California city with 76,000 residents is preparing to hand out $3.6 million out to people with no strings attached in a new basic income pilot. Well, I say here, oh boy, this isn't good. A basic income pilot tells me if they're doing a pilot, then it's because they know a financial storm is coming. Head on a swivel, ladies and gentlemen. And then here we see here, Mr. I comes on the scene and says, he takes the tweet here from the Bitcoin mining facility in South Dakota, and he says, you can never convince me that this is the way. Take a quick look at this. You get the picture. It goes on and on and on. And listen, XRP does not require this. And Jungle Inc. comes in here. I believe it's his account. He says, so you don't plan on using AI, cloud, or anything else that require data centers? But the point is that this doesn't solve anything. You know, the data center is a collection of data that's transferring information back and forth. But here's what I do know. It is true that it is revered as a digital gold or a digital store of value. And as long as people are happy with that, that's what it will be. We also know Department of Homeland Security knows exactly who the Satoshis are, and for some reason, other government agencies deny knowing it at all. We also know that the SHA-256 algorithm that makes up the core of Bitcoin is patented by the National Security Agency, which also means that Bitcoin is not an anti-government, anti-establishment asset as the world would have you believe. Now, with that being said, we also know that the largest entities in the world like BlackRock, Vanguard, and everyone else, Van Eck, they're all looking to get a Bitcoin spot ETF approved. And if that happens, I'm going to go with my core tenet as an investor and stack my pennies next to their dollars. Now, what I could say is that that is not financial advice. However, what I'm getting at is this. Regardless of what I know, I'm not speaking to you about Bitcoin's shortcomings as a maxi. What I'm speaking about is the idea that I'm following the largest players in the space. And if they're going to be allowed to invest in it, then I'm going to get some exposure for myself as well, regardless of the facts. Now, looking at this right here, Tom Emmer says he sponsored an amendment that would restrict the U.S. Securities Exchange Commission use of funds for digital asset enforcement until comprehensive rules and regulations are implemented. Now, I love that. I think we've all been waiting for Congress to act. However, it sounds good on its face, but if they do this, this would literally stop the SEC from holding Ethereum unregistered ICO accountable. All we want is a level playing field. And in my opinion, it is clear that they were working in tandem with the SEC to create a monopoly. Holding them accountable is really what needs to happen. Then you can pass your fancy amendment. Let's dive into the recent acquisition of Fortress Trust. Now, we talked about this a little bit on the day that it happened or the day after. And I want to share with you some information that has come to light now so we can all get a better understanding about exactly what is taking place and how the picture is starting to come a little more clear to us as Ripple continues to grow and expand. Now, we know that this is the president of Fortress Trust, and we know that they have a regulatory agency or body within inside of their own company, and that is impressive in itself. Then we know that I pointed out from Ripple's notes in their announcement, with this acquisition, Ripple's growing portfolio of regulatory licenses expands as Fortress Trust holds Nevada Trust license. And then we know Ripple and its other subsidiaries collectively hold New York Bit license and more than 30 money transmitter licenses across the United States. That is impressive in itself. Of course, don't forget the Monetary Singapore and their central bank. Now, then there's this. From Cowboy.crypto says Ripple intent to acquire Fortress Trust. Fortress has 3 investors. We should know who they are. It says AN Capital is also invested in Prime Trust, as well as CoinRoutes. Prime Trust investors include FIS, Kraken, Nationwide, amongst others. I'll just go through this so you can see some of this right here. You can see what's listed here, and then I'll go and show you this panel, a funding round, and then we'll show you the list of players here, right? So we get that, and that's good to know. Now let's take a look at this. This is a thread from Wrath of Conman. There's some great stuff inside of here. Why did Ripple buy Fortress Trust, and how is it different from Medico? My hunch is that it's more about consumers than on-demand liquidity. And maybe one other thing. He says here in the thread, if you go through it, the difference, is it Medico? I think it's Medico. Or Medico, excuse me. Medico doesn't hold digital assets on its own behalf. Instead, they provide infrastructure allowing qualified custodians to hold digital assets for others. Fortress Trust is a qualified custodian, meaning they actually hold assets and are legally responsible for them. So, for instance, if you don't know, Fortress happens to be the solution for custody for iTrust and their IRA program, allowing users to hold crypto assets in their retirement plans. Holdings are highly regulated, segregated, reconciled, and Fortress holds these assets for each account. Here are the services they offer. Note crypto liquidity tile and how it describes the crypto to fiat. This is real liquidity, not just volume, sometimes mistakenly called liquidity. They connect it to a gateway of sorts. If we look at this, you can see what he's circling here. We facilitate conversions of dollars to crypto and or crypto to dollars. So this is a very real situation. Also look at this one too, payment rails. Accept and process payments via credit card, linked bank accounts, wires, and crypto. You know, all of this is really starting to reveal a pretty amazing picture as far as I'm concerned. Now, compare with that with the description. Fortress Trust is known for its innovative approaches to integrating traditional finance services with blockchain tech. It says with its advanced solutions for crypto and fiat payment rails and on and off ramps. It's a big deal to me. Says here, crypto and fiat payment rails, my hunch is Fortress can become a key link helping Ripple bridge that final fiat gap more directly. No one need interact with exchanges. Further, Fortress white labeled their products. That's interesting too, integrating them in other apps. This is a big deal, ladies and gentlemen. This gives everybody the access to not have to go through an exchange, but to go through Fortress, right? Note Brad's comments, he says. They've built an impressive business with reoccurring revenue, a strong roster of both crypto native and new to crypto customers. It suggests to Ratha Common an emphasis on this bridge between crypto and consumers' fiat. Sure does. Then he says here, I hear it's Long's quote too. Acquiring Fortress Trust in servicing or becoming one-stop shop for enterprise looking to convert, store, and move value on blockchain around the world. Convert here seems to be a new and perhaps important. It does seem important because we know we're moving into a utility phase of the market really serving real world assets and the tokenization and movement of that value. So think of that when you think of convert. Fortress also publicizes NFT tokenization ability, art, contracts, securities, health records, videos, estate docs, and intellectual property. All secure, privately held, no IPFS available for in-trade finance settings. Ripple has spoken similarly to the XRP ledger. The other thing that occurs is in this NFT minting custody capability might offer a smooth path for carbon credit tokenization as well, carbon offsets versus cap and trade, EFTs, maybe ETFs rather, and it says hard to say, maybe real estate after all. It says, could Fortress be for on-demand liquidity? Maybe, but I don't immediately see it. They don't offer Ripple any new licenses, save Nevada. Nevada, obviously, they do get a license there. Further, they can't commingle holdings, potentially complicating larger liquidity pools, which keeps everybody's funds separate and segregated. Would they hold a pool for Ripple? Why? Well, that's interesting, because then you start asking, well, wow, would Ripple become a bank or some reason why they would need to have that ability to do so? The questions keep coming. I suppose it could be useful for where XRP is declared, useful were XRP declared a security, a trust for Ripple on-demand liquidity transactions. I lack the financial experience to envision a solution in this, though. I doubt Ripple would say anything with the case still processing. Nothing but nothing in the press screamed on-demand liquidity. So my thesis for Fortress is Fortress opens up more avenues for traditional finance for Ripple long-term. I think, too, the repetition of Web3 suggests courting consumers' uses and something more on hand with NFTs than on-demand liquidity. It's speculation, just out here trying to read the tea leaves. Cheers. Well, we appreciate your insights as always, Ratha Common, no doubt about it. And we know that he stays pretty close to the shoreline because he's built that way. And we appreciate that about him and his insights. Now let's take a look at this. So in short, you're going to hear from Joseph Indoso here, and he's going to give his response and perspective on what this recent acquisition means, and you're going to want it. He says, I see no negative impact on XRP. In fact, I think it will be a positive impact longer term. My reasoning? As more financial institutions adopt RippleNet and utilize on-demand liquidity, they'll need to decide whether to hold XRP temporarily, only for as long as necessary to clear and settle a cross-border, cross-currency transaction on the XRP ledger, or more permanently, because the continual flow of such transactions has reached a scale where constantly buying and selling XRP as a temporary holding creates huge cost overheads, trading fees, fiat to crypto to fiat conversion fees, etc., plus spot market risk inherent in that churn. In order for those institutions to go the other direction and opt to hold XRP more permanently, they'll need robust institutional grade custody solutions. That's one important reason why Ripple is moving to embed custody into their product mix today. I believe, but in this scenario where lots of institutions choose to hold XRP more permanently, they will be secular and increasing demand for XRP by institutions. that will have two positive effects on price. Less volatility because retail speculative demands get drowned out by more stable utility demand from institutions and institutional demand pressure towards the upside. Bingo, ladies and gentlemen. In short, Ripple bought Fortress Trust to help set up for the flywheel effect for XRP. Oh, and the notion that institutions will only use XRP and not hold it? Well, I think Joseph Indoso just explained it to us all better than anyone ever could. Let's take a look at what's going on the chart, ladies and gentlemen. This is what I've been talking about, the flywheel effect, for years. You're talking about the demand to buy it and hold it because they're going to need it more than we do. And once they do that, it's going to create a rush to get as much of it as you can to permanently hold the asset. That's going to tighten up the price and push up demand, scarcity, and the rest of it. Add in the automated market makers that will start to squeeze out the slippage and the arbitrage, and hello, we got a game on. And right here we see we could be close to a game on according to EggRag Crypto. Average sentiment oscillator shows here that we could be headed towards another cross. And the last time we saw a cross like this, we either got a 1,500% gain or 55,000% gain. You be the judge. I just know I'm going to be here for it, whatever it is. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. It's just my digital perspectives. Game on.